I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Well, everybody, very excited for our guest this week on Discover New Music, a guy and his band that has been with us for almost 25 years now.
It's crazy. About that. Yeah. 2003. Yeah. So yeah.
Since the original debut album, and happy to say that even after all this time, we got new music. Brad Walst, 3 Days Grace. Excited to have you here, man. I was just joking with Brad off air. And if you don't know, 3 Days Grace, Canadian, our brothers from the North. And he greeted me with such a classic Canadian. How do you do? Could you hit us with it one more time?
Hey, how are you, bud?
Oh my God, I love it! I love it. It's so good. I feel like I'm part of the Canadian culture now. Now, let's just kick it off. The new album, Alienation, it's out now. Dropped on the 22nd, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way. This is the band's 8th studio album, which is no small feat whatsoever. But 3 Days Grace, like I mentioned, you've been with us now since 2003, since that debut album, and you've been part of the rock world from the very get-go, just a juggernaut, front and center since 2003. So I felt like I was going to say, hey, this is your 15th album. Does that make sense? Does it feel that way sometimes?
Sometimes it does. Yeah. We usually kind of, we usually tour for a good year and a half, 2 years in a cycle, and then kind of just take our time, Yeah. Luckily, we're never really rushed into records, and we love writing. So we take our time and just make sure it's what we want to do and the way we like it. So, yeah, it is crazy though. 8 records in that long. It seems like we should have more for sure.
Well, I tell you what, I think most of us would rather take 8 insanely stellar albums and 20 so-so ones, Sure. Well, look, number 8 is awesome. And again, it's called Alienation. And I know there's a lot of excitement around this record, other than the obvious excitement that we got new 3 Days Grace, but the excitement with Adam returning to co-vocal this record with your brother Matt. And I don't want to dwell on this because both parties did well, had success after that split. Yeah. So, and I know we could probably break this down at a cellular level. So I'm going to ask a broad question. What does it feel like for the band? How is the feeling with the band with that reuniting with Adam and now where you are at as a whole with this new record?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's been awesome, dude. It's funny because we started off, a year and a bit ago. We're like, well, let's just, we've been talking before that during COVID and stuff. And just this came up a few times and I had coffee with Adam and we kind of just all agreed, like, let's get in a room and see what we can do, see if we can still write a song together. And, it's funny because as soon as we got into that room, which was at Barry's house in Southern Indiana, we immediately just gelled again. It was like, it's like being like you're with your brothers,
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. We wrote 3 songs in that first day, and I think those songs are all on the record, and it was just a great feeling. And it just feels right. It feels easy. The chemistry is still there, and the way Matt and Adam gel, it's pretty unbelievable, and it's funny because they're very similar personalities, no ego, just chill. And I think at one time we were doing rock, scissors, paper to see who wants to sing on the demos. It's like, it's pretty laid back. And he really brought, a good vibe to the camp and just another great personality. So, yeah.
And I know for a lot of people, especially the people that have been 3 Days Grace fans since the beginning, it was this kind of nostalgic wave of like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm back in high school again. It's like I got that first record back. And was there any kind of nerves? I know, like you said, you and Adam, the guys were kind of kicking this around, and then here comes the day we're all getting together. Was there any kind of nerves in there that worked their way up?
Absolutely. Obviously, the way it kind of ended in 2012 wasn't ideal, but, after over 12 years, we apart, I think we all grew up and, got healthier and better in every way. So, yeah, sure. I mean, I think there was more excitement than, we definitely, Adam came out, I think we were on the Chevelle tour back in 2003, and he came out to a couple shows and sang Never Too Late and Riot. And I think the first one was in Alabama. And as soon as he came up, we didn't say anything. I think Matt just said, ladies and gentlemen, Adam F. Gontier, and the crowd kind of went silent, and then it just blew up. And right there, we were just like, oh crap, like this is gonna be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting. It's still exciting. We're still early on in the cycle, but the shows have been crazy, dude. It's like you said, the nostalgia, is back, and I think people really feel it. Yeah.
Well, again, we're so excited for you, and excited that I don't want to say fences were mended, because, like you said, things change and you guys grow, and I think this is just such a great treat for not only the band but the fans of 3 Days Grace, and we're excited to see what comes as we enjoy this. We're in no rush at this point. We got this one; it's fresh, and we're going to enjoy it. I wanted to touch on something in my research. I noticed a couple mentions of nods to the band's second album, 1X, obviously, both in the track Death Wish and then the album's title itself. At this point, it was such a deep catalog. Do you find yourself circling back to some of that to find that inspiration, or maybe you just old 3 Days Grace songs come and you're like, man, all right, and then that transfers over into the studio?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes, I think when you bring up Death Wish, I think actually when we were writing that, Time of Dying did come up, because just the timing of it and just the way it translates definitely has that vibe. I think we always kind of just stay true to the way we write, and we're pretty honest and pretty simple. We try to keep it very simple, but also like very personal about the things around us. So I think, just having that all through our records can definitely relate to any of them.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool to see that. Like, I've seen that a bunch too, like people relating it to 1X, and it's a crazy record, the biggest record by far. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's not bad being compared to, a great stuff like that. All right, we're doing something right.
Right.
You said something there, staying true to yourselves. And I know that can be hard, because sometimes a new fad or a new trend will come in the music world, and you feel like you got to do that to fit in. But I think that's what's kept 3 Days Grace fans just so satisfied over the years, even with changes, is that you're getting, even though it's new, it's still what we're there for. And now we're seeing that with Alienation, that is out now, the 8th studio record from 3 Days Grace. And again, tenants, without doing this, going back, at this point, with everything you guys have done, you've seen it all, you've played it all, you've spent countless hours in the studios and on the stage. With this record, did anything maybe stand out to you compared to previous works where you're like, well, that's different, or, well, that was cool? Anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this time around, we switched up producers a little bit. Like, we had kind of 3 producers, I guess. Howard Benson came back and helped with a lot of things, especially vocals. And but Zach Cervini, I think he was a big part of the writing. And he's obviously he's doing everything right now in production world of the rock world. And man, he had some great ideas where we're like, oh, we'd never do that, just little things where you come in off the one, or just like maybe it's a weird production sound. So that was cool. And I think having like our old school ways with his new school ways really made like this fresh new sound. And I think it really changed the way we thought about things in a way, when writing. So it was cool. Right. And I think that was a big part of it for sure.
And that's got to be cool too for you as an artist, to still finding new ways to challenge yourselves, even at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's funny because, even watching Zach work and how fast he was, he was like, wow, you guys like still use like amps and stuff. Like, like we're like, yeah, we're old, So for him, it was a learning curve for him too. Cause we were kind of traditionally old rockers, and he's more a new school guy. So together, man, it worked really well, and we had a blast. Yeah.
Obviously it worked, because it's amazing, even from the first single drop. And now here we are with the full record, and everyone be able to really dive in from start to finish, 12 tracks and a lot of different, as I was going through, and some people do, a concept album, a theme, and this one, you get a lot of different sounds and journeys on this record, as opposed to maybe just one linear thing. Was that planned, or did you guys just go, this is what we like, let's do it?
No, it was never planned. Yeah, we just kind of go with it, and luckily, the five of us together are all filters, which make 3 Days Grace. So, we've always kind of just, if someone puts their hand up and is like, I don't know about that part, then we always go back and check it out. So I think, if we're high-fiving in the room, it's good. And that's just how we've always done it. But yeah, there are some different instruments in there. There's a couple on Alienation, the actual track. There's I always forget the name of it, but it's a thumb instrument with little metal pegs.
Oh, yeah, it's you sit there.
Yeah.
It's like a little wood box or whatever.
So Neil, we were staying in an Airbnb in Franklin. And Neil came up one day and he's like, man, look, check this out. And he played the riff. Ding, 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 ding. And we're like, man, that's cool. And then all of a sudden we've got a microphone on it and it's in a song, and stuff like that happens sometimes naturally. But
I love it. Any what is it? Keytars in there or anything like that? Or just any other weird things?
No, nothing like that.
That was a good year in the 80s when we had the year of the keytar, not anymore. Speaking of other instruments on this album, you have Lindsey Sterling, wildly talented Lindsey Sterling on there, songwriter, dancer, violinist. She's on the track Never Ordinary. Tell us about adding her in there. How'd you guys get hooked up and then get her to add to the sound of the record?
Yeah, so that song, to be honest, that song was probably the first song we brought to Adam. It was a demo that Neil had written with Lindsey and a couple other writers. So he was like, man, this is a great track. And it was kind of written in a pop kind of world sense. And we were like, oh, if we added some heavies here. So anyways, we ended up tracking it, demoing it. It sounded great. And then, Neil reached out to her and was like, would you like to play on this? And she's like, yeah, it'd be awesome. So I think that really lifted that song in a way. And yeah, she's super talented, man. She's awesome.
It's crazy. And it does, adding that depth of the strings in there and that playing style, especially from Lindsey, which is crazy. It's really cool and adds a new sound in there. Do you got a favorite track on the record, or maybe a track that speaks to you more than maybe the rest?
I think Kill Me Fast is definitely one of my favorites. Just that hits home for me and gives me goosebumps still every time I hear it. There's a lot, man. I love Another Relapse, the last song we did. I think
which is kind of a dark song.
It's pretty dark, yeah. And it's the longest song we've ever had on a record. But yeah, something about that song is really haunting and definitely hits a few strings. Yeah,
I love it, man. Well, again, 3 Days Grace, 8th studio album, Alienation. It's out now, and you guys are busy. I think I read somewhere you're going to be in Budapest later on in the year, something like that. Even at this point, how's long touring for the aging rock stars? Huh?
It's not as easy as it used to be, I'll tell you that. Now, it's funny because now we were joking the other day, Adam and I we have a physiotherapist out with us now because we're all old and our joints are falling apart. And we're, hour before the show, we're getting zapped up and massaged. And we're like, man, 20 years ago, we'd be doing shots of tequila and, having a party. But yeah, it's all right. I think it's still fun, man. And we still love it. And that's why we're still doing it. So
I love it. Well, we're loving that you're doing it, and it's great to see Adam back, and I know you guys are really enjoying that and having the whole crew together, and a quintet for the first time ever as well. You went from 3 to way more. That's great. So, awesome. Well, before we get to our Canadian rapid fire, which I have to do whenever I talk to you, you brothers of the North, I'm going to do my masterpiece theater question. I'm going to get all James Lipton-y on you, and because I like to ask this as someone who's done it as long as you have. Even with the previous band you were in before 3 Days Grace with Adam and the other guys, and now where we see you, if you were to play this new record for a young Brad circa 2000, 2001 on the precipice of the debut self-titled album of 3 Days Grace, what would he think about this record?
I think he'd think it's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what I would tell him. I think I just tell him, less is more, be patient. Learn how not to play bass, if that makes any sense.
Also, not as many shots of tequila because touring is going to be harder.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, go easy on your liver. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, again, Alienation, it's out now, 3 days grace. Now that the important stuff's out of the way, we got the new music talk. Let's do a little Canadian rapid fire, and then I'll always end with my main ones. Let's start with all dressed chips or ketchup chips.
All dressed by far. Yeah.
You're a hockey fan. You have to be. You're from Canada,
Absolutely.
correct? Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux?
Lemieux.
Bobby Hull or Gordie Howe?
Hull.
Big Turk or Crispy Crunch?
Ooh, that's tough, man.
I love how this is the hardest one, the candy bar one.
God damn. Yeah, I'm going to go Big Turk. I don't know. There's something about a Big Turk that hits the right way.
Yeah, when I was reading about it, it's a unique flavored treat there, and I've never heard of it. And next time I'm across the border, I'm going to have to grab one. Okay, now that we got that little part done, I want to do some quick Canadian slang because you guys just have such a beautiful language up there, and some things that don't make any sense, especially us down here. Well, what's a double-double, Brad?
Double-doubles, 2 cream, 2 sugar, and a coffee.
Of course, you're going to get that from a Timmy's, which is
a coffee shop that's on every single block of every city. Yeah.
It's your Starbucks, basically, is what it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love this one because I feel like it's only something you find in Canada. A beaver tail.
A beaver tail, yeah. It's like a fried piece of dough with whipped cream and syrup and all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah. I love it. And of course, beaver, that's synonymous for Canada. I love this one, a Mickey.
A Mickey. Oh, so a Mickey's the smallest bottle of alcohol you can get. I think it's, how many ounces is it? I want to say 4 ounces. It's a small, thin bottle. Yeah,
it's good for a back pocket. Exactly. What I want to know is, was there a fella named Mickey that was a Canadian drunk? And that's what I want to know. So
I don't know. You got the Mickey, and then you go up to the 26er. That's
and this one became really popular because of Letterkenny. Which how do you feel about that show? Did it do a good job representing? Yeah, it did a good job.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out and have a dart, you're going to have a
cigarette.
There you go. And that's from here on out. That's what I've called them because I felt way cooler than saying cigarette.
You got a dart there, bud?
You got a dart there, bud? Oh my God. I love it. All right. Final question. And because you're a pretty athletic guy, I think you can handle this. I ask this to everyone. It's the most important one. Would you rather take one roundhouse kick, full power from Chuck Norris, or a 50% powered punch from Mike Tyson?
Damn.
That's a tough one.
Probably roundhouse, dude. Roundhouse. Chuck Norris.
Maybe to like the shoulder or something, not to the jaw.
Yeah, not to the jaw. Yeah, if it was a body shot, yeah, maybe. But that's a tough one.
Get those action jeans and that cowboy boot in the ribs. Thank you for humoring me, Brad. But more importantly, thank you for talking new music. 3 days grace, Alienation. It's out now. The guys are on the road. They're hitting it. And we can't wait to see what's next from you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.